cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR. If we're lucky, this is a skill none of us will ever have to use. But the fact is that CPR saves lives. According to the American Heart Association, only 30% of Americans know how to perform CPR. Yet the training is readily available through multiple outlets, through the American Heart Association, through local and regional hospitals, through the American Red Cross, and many others. I believe this skill is important because 70% of Americans may feel helpless in a cardiac emergency, and 88% of cardiac attacks occur at home. What this means is if you're skilled in CPR, the life you save may very well be that of someone you love. There's a simple formula and 3 simple steps to CPR. But first and foremost, before you begin, always call 911 in a medical emergency. Once help is on its way, then you can begin CPR. According to the American Heart Association, there are 3 simple steps to CPR, CAB, compressions, airway, and breathing. The first of these is compressions. You perform this by placing the heel of your hand in the center of the patient's chest, putting your other hand on top of that one, interlocking fingers, and pressing down at least 1.5 inches. 100 compressions per minute is considered appropriate. The second step is to open the airway. This is important so that the patient can breathe. You tilt the victim's head back, lift their chin to open the airway. According to firstaidweb.com, the tongue is the most common airway obstruction in an unconscious person, so it is critical to remove this obstruction. The third and final step is breathing, more commonly known as mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. This is done by pinching the victim's nose closed, taking a normal breath, covering the victim's mouth with yours to form an airtight seal. You then give 2 1-second breaths while watching for the victim's chest to rise. All these steps are brought together once the airway is open by doing 2 breaths for every 30 compressions until help arrives. One scary statistic is that sudden cardiac arrest victims, 92% of them die before they reach the hospital. So being skilled and being trained in CPR can truly be the difference between life